Yes, good evening from Amsterdam and good morning from Los Angeles. Connie is back, and many of you know Connie. And for those of you that don't know Connie yet, um, she's a wonderful human being, first of all. Dr. Connie Osterholt, the queen of the boardroom, originally from the Netherlands. So it's cool. And I want to tell you, by the way, Connie, that it's a beautiful weather now in the Netherlands. So just for you to
Ah.
know. So Connie is leveraging over 25 years working directly with women, business leaders in 17 countries. And she has synthesized her experience as a senior executive, a strategy coach, and mentor to high net worth business women in more than 10 industries, public and private, board members, and successful entrepreneurs. And she has been consistently focused on the power of feminine energy in negotiations, networks, and the nuanced areas of business leadership. Also a master trainer and a master coach with Tony Robbins for many, many years. So very, very experienced. So welcome, Connie. And
Thank you.
before we gonna get into our topic of today, meeting our needs during pandemic, the tradition is that we get the centering. So I'll do the first one, and maybe you would like to end our session with your centering exercise. So shall we do it for about a minute or so? Yeah. So we can close our eyes and connect with our breath. Just say hello to a couple of breaths. And maybe we can imagine a handkerchief under our feet, a white silk handkerchief. And maybe we can imagine the power of Mother Earth just pushing up this handkerchief that's going to float like a body scan up, up, up towards our head. And on the way, we'll collect any tensions that we have in our body. So the handkerchief, imagine moving up, shins, the knees, rest of the legs, pelvis, moving up towards the chest. The hands are also taken up, and any tension that we have is moved up, 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 up through the head, up towards the sky, in the sun, transmuting any tension. So we can now enjoy opening our eyes and enjoy the wonderful presence of Connie.
Thank you. Thank you for having me back.
Yes, and I just had an egoscue session, Connie.
Nice.
Yes, and it was so fascinating because at the beginning of the session, she looks at me and takes a photo, and it was so interesting to see that my posture was not balanced. So the need for my balance was not achieved at the physical level. My left shoulder was down, my right. So, and this started with because of the hips that were not aligned. So the right hips was higher. That gave me pain in my neck. So we did an hour of exercise, and then I realized my neck pain was gone.
Wow.
So, how important, just bringing attention to the need of alignment at the physical level, because if I'm not aligned, I experience some tension, some pain, and so. And this is linked very well, I think, with our topic for today, um, how important is managing our needs during pandemic. So let's go into the what,
R-
the whys, the how, and where. So,
Right, right. And excuse my pandemic
and you
hair.
look very good. You look very
Thank
good, by
you.
the way.
Thank you. But you're so right, because it's the physical part we have to take care of, and it's the emotional part we have to take care of. So, one thing I've learned, and I've learned from my clients during these times, and they're trying times,
Yeah.
whether you handle it really well, whether you think you don't handle it so good, these are trying times. There's a lot more energy you have to spend to keep it all together, right? Whether you're by
Yeah.
yourself, or whether you're with your loved ones, or whether you have your children all of a sudden home, there's a lot more that we have to deal with. And one
Yes.
of the things my clients and also me are confronted with, well, what do I really need? Because maybe without knowing, before this all happened, we got into a routine that served you well up to a point. Maybe not
Yes.
totally, but up to a point. But it was a routine. We didn't have to think about it. And you were mostly okay. Right
Yes.
now, okay, in my book is not good enough, right? I would love you to get on a higher level where you go, well, at least 80% of the time I feel like really great. So the
Yes.
balancing that you did physically is also the balancing we need to do emotionally, right?
Right.
So to know what you really need and to create a space for that.
Yeah.
So it's based on what's most important to you, right? People call that values as well.
Yes.
So that
Yes.
is a concept. What is most important to you in life? And that can be different. That can be like my family is the most important. That can
Yes.
be my friends. That can be my work. That can be helping, contributing. It's for each of us a little bit different, but to really go in and to ask, well, what is really important to me? And am I living this?
Right.
Right? And when you have everything at your fingertips, it's easier to live it without even thinking about it than now, where there are some restrictions. And I know in every country, in here, in every state, and the restrictions are different, but nonetheless, they are restrictions. It's
Yes.
different out there.
Yes.
I spoke to a client yesterday, and one of her needs is love and connection. She lives by herself, and she was almost crying on the phone. She was crying on the phone because the connection wasn't there. She was required to wear a mask
Mask. Yes.
and gloves. And a lot of the people are, instead of like looking at somebody and smiling at somebody, they kind of turn away and just keep people at a distance, because
Yeah.
that's what we're mandated to do.
Yeah.
So her total need for love and connection, for touch, was not being met.
Yes.
So the first is to acknowledge what you really need, and then see how you can get it.
Yeah.
Because
And
on the flip side, I saw an example. I live I have a townhouse, so it is a complex of all kinds of townhouses. And I saw two women going from house to house,
yeah.
oof, and just connecting with the people there.
Yeah.
The people were in the house, they were on the street, and they had their mask down when they were speaking, because there was a lot
Yes.
of distance, right? More
Yeah.
than 6 feet, or 1.5
Yes.
meters. And they were connecting.
Yes.
And they were connecting on a human level, because sometimes connecting over the phone or connecting over Skype, which is a great
It's a
second
yes.
way, it's different.
Yeah.
So they were doing something. They were going, hey, I'm missing that. I'm going to get out and get it.
Yeah.
I see people sitting next to each other, proper distance, but they're connecting on a human level.
Yeah.
So to know what you need, to know what your spouse needs, to know what your children are needing, and then providing that for them, is an art that we haven't practiced enough yet.
Exactly. So before I ask you a question, first of all, let me welcome some people: Anaya Doda and Lauren Lahav and Marietan and Stefan Detmer. Great to see you, Catalina and Connie. Nice to see you, Stefan from Success Hits. With
Yeah.
yeah,
Hi, Stefan.
um,
Hi, Lauren. Hi, Mariette.
yes.
Yeah.
Many people honestly don't think about their needs. They just go through life on autopilot. They don't think, and society also at times said, don't be selfish and think about you. So
Absolutely.
why do we need to dismantle this myth that not thinking of about your needs and fulfilling them, meeting them, it's okay. It's and then thinking about your needs, it's selfish.
Absolutely. Well, that is actually a belief that you have, right? My mom always said, and as you heard from Catalina, I'm originally from the Netherlands. My mom always said, well, you have to give everybody, you have to give, right? Your family and your colleagues and your friends. And if anything is left at the end of the day, you can have it. So that was her belief. That's how she lives. She wasn't particularly happy and she didn't know why she wasn't happy. But if you give from a place of emptiness because you give everything out, the sad part is that people on the other side don't even receive it
Yes.
because it comes with a heaviness. It comes with
Resentment.
sometimes resentment, frustration, all those feelings like a deep sigh, right? But if you turn it around and you go like, I give to myself, I fill myself up because only then I can give endlessly. And it's light, it's full of choices how to.
Yes.
When I
Yes.
come back to what you said earlier, we're on autopilot. Autopilot is great. Autopilot is designed to make life easier for you, but you have to be aware what's in that autopilot,
Yes.
because sometimes there's behavior from when you were younger that was totally appropriate at the time when you were 7 maybe, and it's not so appropriate when you're 40.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
autopilot helps you need to know what's in there.
So it's about becoming, mindful about life and conscious about what drives you, right? Hi, Howard. Very nice to have you, Howard Tiersky.
Hi,
Good to have
Howard.
you here.
Yeah.
Um, there are different models in psychology that describe human needs. Maslow, and there are many. But you just mentioned, so one important need is the need for connection and
Yeah.
love.
Yeah.
What are the needs? What other needs are very important again for human being?
I think that we all have a need for certainty, security as well. And
Yeah.
if you look at the model of the levels of consciousness, the spiral dynamics, right,
Hmm.
which I find fascinating, and you
Me
can
too.
just blend them with other models as well.
Yes.
It's in this time of uncertainty, because there's not much certainty outside, right? You don't know what the government is deciding. You don't know what the virus will do. You can find everything on the internet and on Facebook that is from conspiracy to we're all gonna
Yes.
die and whatnot, right? If you look for it, you can find whatever. So
Yes.
there's a lot of uncertainty outside, and that rocks our boat. And
Yes.
we go back maybe in evolution a little bit to a lower level where there is the survival. Some
Yes.
people are truly in survival. Some
Yeah.
people are tribal. This is our tribe, right? This is a tribal, a group together to give us that certainty. But
Yes.
most important is that our outside certainty that we always relied on, or the majority of people relied on, it's like money is coming on in our business, love is coming in, our family, our friends. It's just coming in, and I'm happy with it.
Yes.
Now going to turning it around again, you have to provide that for you.
Yes.
So, what is your certainty in uncertain times?
Yes.
It's you. It's you that can pull through. What is your love and connection in uncertain times? It's you. It's you that can give that to yourself and then
Yeah.
strategize how you're going to get it. But it has to start with you. And we cannot afford to sit back and just wait till it comes to us. And I
Mm.
think that is the core of the story here.
Yeah.
We have to be responsible for us and not
Yeah.
waiting till somebody is providing it for
Yeah.
us.
And we're gonna get in a moment also in the ways to meet the need. But what you just said, okay, you look for certainty, start looking at you first. Some people get very stressed in these uncertain moments and um, find certainty in starting to control their environment, their spouse, their children, their business even more. Um, what do you have to say about that?
Well, there's a
Okay, so
difference in controlling things and get a feeling of certainty. So and you're spot on, because I see that in my clients, because they do not get that automatic certainty, and it, in a way, it was a false certainty, but it still worked. And instead of like creating that certainty that yes, we will survive, yes, we will go through this, yes, this too shall pass, yes, we will like come out of it, they go into let me now control whatever I can control. So when you're married, your spouse and your children are in for a wild ride,
yes,
right? You
yes,
are, you have a client that is like wanting to do everything his way. Well, there's 5 people in his house and they
yes,
live in close quarters. So it's now times 5 and not times 1. So that creates a conflict. And then go back to what can you really control? There's an illusion that we can control a lot of things. Look
yes,
where we're at. Look where the world is at. We couldn't
absolutely.
control that, right? Those
Yes,
are circumstances. And if you live in the illusion that you can control most of what's going on, it's still an illusion.
yes,
What you can control is your state and where your focus goes.
yes. So find your anchors, healthy anchors in, in getting you in state, in a healthy state or whatever you want to call it, and put your focus in a way that is constructive for you, right?
Absolutely. And really see, like, okay, one of the things that helps me pull through is having faith. I
Yes,
don't know what's going to
yes,
happen. I don't know
yes,
what's going to happen to me. I don't know what's going to happen with the country, with the world. I don't know.
yes.
And that if you focus on the I don't know, that creates a lot of uncertainty and
Here you go.
stress and anxiety and all of that, right? But if I focus on having faith that, we will enter a different state, we will enter a different state of awareness, we
Yeah,
will pull through. There's so many beautiful people around you, they help you pull through things. If
yeah,
you focus on that, and if you focus on, I just have to make sure I get through this in the most beautiful, in the most balanced, in the most wonderful, resourceful way, and
yeah,
then take it one step at a time.
yeah,
I've heard it several times from several people that some people live in the past, some people live in the future, and not many people live in the present. If you live in the past, you go like, oh my gosh, it was so great when we could go to the beach and we could go everywhere and do anything and travel and whatnot. And they feel really sorry that they can't do that at this moment. If you
yes,
live into the future, there is like no defined future health, money, jobs, business as yet.
yes,
And if you live in the presence and allow yourself, well, I am committed to live this day to the best of my abilities
yes,
and to be in the best emotional state I can be, and to do what's important for me, what I really love doing. What I really love doing is helping other people. That has
right.
been my focus. So my focus is not on feeling sorry for myself. My focus is on helping other people.
Right. And this is another important need of human being. And I know that is very high for you. And you cannot be in a stressful state, in a fight flight, and help others necessarily, think about the benefit of others, right?
Right, right.
So how do you need to what do you need to do with yourself in order to be able to focus on others and help others?
Well, it's actually, the question is, how do you get out of stress, right?
There
Because
you
the
go.
fact is that there is stress. There's always stress
Yes.
in life. And we might not label it as stress, but when you have a full life, you work and you have children and you have lots of friends, and you have stress in your life as well. So how
Yeah.
do you de-stress? And
Yes.
some people see this as a holiday where you can do different things. I don't see this as a holiday. I see this as a change, at a transformational time. and transformational, first of all, myself. So how do I de-stress? I work out. Sometimes I don't want to do it, but I still work out, right? I have my
Yes.
workout regime. I love to read. I love to look at a silly movie once in a while. It helps me just
Yes.
relax. I call my
Mm-hmm.
friends. I make a healthy juice. I eat healthy, and sometimes I eat, and I can admit it here, once every so often French fries because it makes me feel good. Not the healthiest, but it makes
Yeah.
me feel good. And when it
Yes.
once in a while, it's okay, you know?
Yes.
So it's finding things that fill you up, coming back, circling back, right? What fills me up?
And that is a great question people need to ask, because what is good for you, maybe it's not necessarily that good for me, or it doesn't have the same impact. So
All different.
go and bring your focus. What do I need? Again, we come to the main, what do I need in order to get out of stress and then feel good about myself and about my life, right?
Absolutely. And a biggie for me, at least, was asking for help.
Yes.
Because we're
Yes.
all human being. We are not perfect. Thank God we're not perfect. And we all can use some support and some help.
Yes.
So I knock on doors. I go like, "Hey, how are you doing? Hey, I need to vent. I need to get something out of my chest."
Yeah. John really says, let's schedule a day for the beach. Good for you, John. Just go ahead. And that's nice for the wedding. And Howard says, very wise, the gift of a time of chaos it undermines the illusion that we can control the future. So we are all left with is to enjoy the moment. That's very much, and that's for us the inspiration. I have another question for you. Um, Sometimes when people have conflicts, they fight at the level of behavior when they maybe have the same intention. Um, Especially in these times, in the depending how they reframe situations, people get triggered, they get itchy, they get triggered much more often. And how important is to go beyond the behavior, to start having a deeper way of thinking, Connie, of what that person needs in order to solve conflict.
Yeah, and in times of stress, right, you are sometimes displaying a very different behavior. So now, when you're aware of like what you feel and most of all what you need, you can direct your behavior. So if your behavior is not where you want it to be, if you link it back, then you're not in the right emotional state. So yeah, when you really want to change it, go back to the emotional state you need to be in.
Yes.
When you really want a certain result, and I always go by the 80-20% rule. So 80%, I just want to be happy, I just want to be fulfilled, I just want to feel all the beautiful things I can feel. 20% happens, that's fine, we chalk it up and we move on. But look at what you want to create. What do I want to create for myself? What do you want to create for your spouse, for your children, for your family members? What's the goal? So think about what you want to achieve and link it to how you need to be, how you want to be in order to achieve that.
Yeah.
Because in this time, Catalina, of stress, and we're amongst a group of people who did a lot of personal development and was diving into psychology pretty deep. So we did exercises about what's important to us. We did exercises about who we are, what our identity is. But push comes
Most
to
of the
shove right now.
Yeah.
And people are living their core values right now.
Yeah.
On paper, they might have changed it and it looks fantastic on paper. But in this time, you will see whether you live it or not.
Not. Yes.
And
Yeah.
most people need to take a look at what values, what emotions am I living right now? And is that who I want to be? Or is that in alignment of who I am?
Yeah. And this is a deeper level of thinking and connecting with
Yeah,
ourselves and also with the others. Because if I'm with you and I have a conflict with you, I start thinking I can stop at the level of behavior and
right.
judge you for this.
Yeah.
Or I can start also going deeper. What do you need?
Exactly.
And this
What do
changed
you
something.
need? Absolutely. And to even ask that question breaks the behavior open, right?
Yes.
Because you go, well, I just need a hug. Or
Yeah.
I need to know that you're still playing on my team, that you
Yes.
have my back. Or I
Yes.
need half an hour to take a hot shower or a hot bath to
Yes.
regroup. So to
Absolutely.
define what it is what you need so you can behave and act and feel at the level you deserve in order
Yes.
to get and achieve what you really want. That is the
Awesome.
most important. And it's
Yeah.
now time for going inside, even when
Yeah.
it's just a couple of minutes a day. And I totally acknowledge that a lot of people have more on their plate than they ever could thought
Yes.
that would be on their plate with kids and school and whatnot, and everything that's going on. But take those couple of minutes. You don't
Yeah.
need more than a couple of minutes of reflection and
Yes.
going, am I on the right path? Am I
Yes.
doing the best I can?
And look for the feedback from the universe if you're
Yeah,
also on the right path, right?
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
um I am going to read some comments, and I would invite you maybe to go in the area of how do we meet our needs? Because we can meet them in different ways that
Right,
help us or not.
right.
And I give you just 1 second from Gigi Guilote. So good to have you, Gigi. Be present, she says. Yes, that's a nice direction in life to enjoy and be present. And Claudia Bond, balancing giving and receiving in flow. Very beautiful.
Very beautiful. And be
Yes,
present is just to be aware what's going on inside.
yes,
Because some of us are very well trained in ignoring what's inside
yeah,
and
yeah,
just move on, plow on, go
yeah,
on,
yeah,
pressure yourself to move on. No, take a minute and go, like, what's really going on? What is it that I'm missing? What is that I might think I'm missing? And like you said, how can I get it?
yeah. And with an attitude of curiosity and acceptance of the experience in the now.
Yes, and sometimes it comes in a disguise, right? So
Hmm.
I come back to my French fries, and actually, where that anchor, because it's an anchor, is when my dad took us to a very in Scheveningen, you know where that is, right? At the seaside. And there was a very special little place where him and I were having French fries. So it's not about the French fries. It's about getting back to my connection with my dad and the good times we shared when I was a kid. Does that
And
make sense?
yes, and the power of story, because now I'm thinking about my dad when you're talking about your dad and the wonderful things. So it's beautiful.
Right.
Ways to meet our needs. Why are those important to be mindful about how we meet our needs?
Well, there is a theory that says your needs have to be met one way or the other. And when you're not present, when you're not living mindfully or in awareness, the universe, however you want to call it, find a way to meet that need. But you are at their beck and call. So you can
Yes,
meet that need in a really great way, or in not such a great way, or in an awful way. So, and I'd rather, we talked about control and certainty first, I'd rather be in control of my choice how to meet that, right?
yes,
Love and connection. I could go to my neighbor and just have a nasty conversation with that neighbor.
yeah,
You have love and connection. On what level? A very, very small level,
yeah,
right? But if you go, and the example earlier from the two ladies that went around in my park and were connecting with people that had their windows open and were just striking up a conversation, that's a beautiful way of connecting and giving something back, because that
yes,
fills you up as well.
yeah,
So the temporary fix of having love and connection in a way that doesn't fill me up is just very temporary. It leaves you empty. It leaves you not fulfilled. So always scale up to the best way possible to fulfill that need.
yeah. And I give you another example because even now we talk about pandemic. People are not with their families anymore. Maybe they're in different countries, like it's my case, as your case, with the relatives. And sometimes people die. And don't say this that is hypothetical, because I had in the last month, I have two people close to me that died, not of corona,
Yeah,
but not.
yeah,
So what happens if 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 we are not used to get in touch with ourselves and with what we are feeling. Sometimes it feels good, and sometimes feelings are not pleasant, right? When we feel sad or frustrated or whatever. And if we are not in the habit of asking, what do I need right now? We can start unleashing, on others, putting our focus on others, and trying to control a situation of, if we feel, for instance, frustrated or angry, instead of staying and asking ourselves, what do I need? What do I need right now? We can lash on others the anger, because it's not that painful, right? So that's why, again, with what you're saying, is so important to choose how we meet the needs, right?
absolutely. And tap into a beautiful resource that everybody has. And I know you have it in spades in how you dealt with the two deaths in your family, not being there, being in a
Yes.
different country. But tap into your creativity, because for the longest time, and I know there's a lot of people that feel the same way, I always said, well, I'm not a creative person because I don't paint or write a lot or play music, right? So I had my rules around what that was. But I am a totally creative person in finding solutions.
Yes.
So if one way doesn't work, find another way, find another way, find another way, find another way.
Yeah. Yeah.
And is it different? Totally different. Remember, on autopilot doesn't work anymore because the autopilot was designed from how it was
Yes.
before.
Yes.
So you get to design your new autopilot. You get to
Yeah.
design new creative ways of experiencing, living, and fulfilling what you need in life.
Yeah. And comparing to others and putting yourself down doesn't encourage creativity.
Right.
Creativity can be in small things. You know what? One thing that I love to do also during these times, I open the fridge, Connie, and I'm thinking, what can I create with what I have now in the fridge? That's
Beautiful.
creativity. It doesn't give me the best
Pulitzer
prize, the
Prize,
Nobel, the
or yeah.
Pulitzer, or whatever, or
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's just creativity, and it gives when I connect with my creativity, I said I have a sense of well-being. I have a sense of um, connection with life. Is that right?
Absolutely. So we all have that cupboard or fridge of emotions inside of us.
Yeah.
See what's
Yeah.
in there. See if you
Yeah.
have to order something new and start playing with all the ingredients to create
Yes.
something beautiful. Well done. I like it.
Yeah. So thank you very much. Before you will wrap up this with your nice ritual, is there anything that you would have liked me to ask you that I haven't
Oh,
for
wow.
this?
Well, I think we enter a stage, and I come from a psychology background, right? I come from a coaching background. And I think that, especially in my country, I don't know how it is now, Catalina, but sometimes people think that they don't need a coach, a consultant, a mentor, a role model, a trusted person. And I think now is the time to be resourceful
Yes.
and to see who can help you, who can
Yeah.
support you, where
Yeah.
can you get that unbiased support or feedback that you need to hear, not from your spouse, not from your
No.
children, not from your loved one. So my
No.
mom always said to me, wow, you're just talking to people and they pay you for it. Yes, so she didn't have a concept of what coaching is. We all
Yes.
have our blind spots.
Of
Remember,
course. Of
autopilot
course.
creates a lot of blind spots. And now is the time to go like, if you want to be more fulfilled, be more certain, be more loved, give
Yeah.
more to yourself, give more to others, find your blind spots any way possible. You're available. I'm available. There's a
Yeah.
lot of people that are available. There's a lot of amazing people out there that
Yes.
can help you. Go
Yeah.
get it.
Now
Give
you made
yourself
me
that
curious.
gift.
Now you made me curious. Speaking about creativity and everything, how's your creativity on a professional level during this period? Are you coming with new products, or are you doing something new? Or
Absolutely. I have one product that is almost ready to go,
oh,
and that
nice.
is evolving, that is around business psychology, negotiating on the work floor, how to get your team all in one direction, and how to communicate and use each other's strengths effectively
Yeah,
instead of harping on weaknesses, right? That
yeah.
sometimes happens. So that
Mhm.
is one, and I'm working like a little bit further planned away on relationships. So
Oh, nice.
how to deal with relationships, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And what else am I doing? And then I'm working on some things too in collaboration with other people to bring for parents and children,
Oh,
because
nice.
we don't know how to parent, really. We never
Mm.
went to school for parenting,
Yeah,
right? So
yeah,
we do the best we can. And
yeah,
sometimes we need a little education there, a
yeah,
little understanding. I see myself, I'm the biggest translator. I'm the
yeah.
translator for one side and for the other
The
side.
other,
And
yeah,
when you understand each other, it becomes easier to deal with things.
absolutely.
So, yep, I do a lot of
A lot of
creativity,
things.
a lot of
Nice.
things, and I love
Yeah.
that.
Nice.
Yeah,
Good to see you, Claudia. Speak the unspoken. Yes, very important. So, Connie, on Monday, I have my course in mindfulness, character strengths, and mindset for a spectacular life
nice,
online. And
nice.
it's fully now because I do also coaching. So, wish me luck because it's speaking of bringing our creative juices and doing good in this world. That's very important. So, I'm very excited. And for you, I think you're gonna let us know when things are
I will.
ready to rock,
Yeah,
right?
I
Facebook and
will.
website and all this. Looking forward to this. So, are you going to guide us maybe to with a beautiful
Absolutely.
practice that comes
Yeah.
now into your awareness? So,
Before we do that, good luck with the launch
thank,
of your
thank you.
course.
Think about
Amazing.
me. Yeah,
Well
I'm
done.
very excited. Thank you. I'm very excited.
Anything I can do for you, let me know.
Yes.
And you were bragging about me. Let me brag a little bit, 2 seconds about you. Catalina is, in one word, just fantastic.
Oh,
Like the
thank you.
depths of her, I think the compassion and her heart speaks through everything. She learned a lot. She did a lot of courses. There's a wealth of knowledge, but it all comes down where it's coming from, where it's emanating from. So when you have a chance, go look at her product, walk the way with her, and you
Oh,
will be surprised about yourself. So good luck. And
thank
for
you.
us to end this, close your eyes if you would, and take a deep breath in and let it go. Take another deep breath in and let it go. One more deep breath in. Let it go. And put your hands on your heart and breathe deeply into your heart. And let it go through your diaphragm. And when you need any wisdom, first start with getting it from your own heart. So keep on breathing into your heart, letting it go to your diaphragm. Breathe in all the infinite possibilities the world is still offering you. People around you are still offering you. Breathe it deeply in. When you breathe out, let go of what needs to be in the past. Let go of what's no longer serving you. So 3 times, breathe in all the possibilities the universe has in store for you. And let go of everything you no longer need. Let it go. Feel your shoulders relax. Feel your head relax. One more time. Breathe into your heart deeply and let it go. Thank you all for listening.
Thank you, Connie. Ah, you're so generous. Thank you for your wisdom. And have everybody have a great day or a great evening wherever you are. And I hope Connie will be back in the future to share
I
her
would
wisdom.
love it.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. Okay, everybody.